last card of the year has come and gone, and luckily we got a hell of a one and a hell of a fight. The last main event of the year to send us off for another 28 days. I was very happy with it. I was very happy with the card as a whole. And we now have to wait 4 weeks until we get Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. But we got a lot to talk about. Luckily, we're gonna have some war shows coming up anyway, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. This is a really interesting time of the year to be a UFC and MMA fan, and so it's gonna be a good time. But Blake, how are we feeling after the last card of the year?
A little sad, little tiny bit sad,
Just a little post-fight
but
depression.
gotta wait a month for the next one. But like you said, it was a super entertaining card. So I mean, really no complaints on the performances of the fighters. Awesome card to end the year on.
Right, and there is a plenty of stuff to go through, plenty of news still coming out. And then, of course, it's Christmas week, so we got a little bit of a special themed of what the blink this week. But, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the MMA correspondent, Blake Campbell, and we are going to get into some things today, especially regarding, I was... Dude, I was so close about it, Chris Dawkins, but luckily he's still really good. But Derek Lewis, he's absolutely all the way back at this point, and there's a lot of interesting stuff we can do with him. Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz are once again in the headlines. Surprise, surprise. And there's a fighter that definitely is getting too much hate, or at least more hate that's really warranted. And of course, we got a freaking certified banger alert coming up here in March. But before we hop into the UFC Vegas 45 coverage, of course, a couple things coming out right now. Recently, we did have that interview with head boxing coach over at Team Alpha Male, Coach Joey Rodriguez. Go ahead and check that one out. Actually, we're going to be talking about one of the fighters that we talked about in that interview. We're going to be talking about a little bit later in this show. And then also, it's still out there, and it's not going to age. Of course, my attempt at my conquering of the one chip challenge. That thing was nothing. So you can go ahead and check that one out. Of course, that was for charity. Plenty of money raised for cancer research. And so obviously a great thing there. And merchandise sales are still going. Pre-orders for the trucker hats are still live. Of course, you can go ahead, hit up thefourthandlong.com/apparel. Hit the Google form there. Get your pre-order in today. But Blake, let's go ahead and let's talk about the last card of the year, because there is a plenty of fights to go over, and like we said for every single card this year, we're going to cap out the same way. Blake, did the bangers hit?
Absolutely,
Dude, you closed out the year very well. I have to say.
undeniably.
I have to say.
Fill in the blank. You did great. I mean, every single one was just fantastic. We went all in a row again, starting off the main card. Ricky Simone, Rafael Assunção, Gamro versus Fajeda, Swanson and Elkins. Each one ended in a finish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cub Swanson's was sweet. He was just piecing Elkins up.
Cub frickin' Swanson, dude. This guy will never go away.
I mean, that lasted, what, like 45 seconds, if that? That was
Made
like they were
to
shot out of a
212
cannon.
round one.
Oh, man, yes, yeah, I'm bad at math. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We all know that, but you're not getting paid to do math. You're getting paid to talk fights.
Yeah, don't tell my boss, though, because I'm an accountant, so.
We'll keep that on
Not
the
a
down
good
low.
look. But yeah, I mean, Gamro versus Fajeda, another good one. Little bit of a weird finish there, how it kind of ended, but
You don't
I
see
mean,
tapping to strikes all too often.
well, and I'm surprised we don't see more guys use that knee to the body like Gamro did. I mean, man, it just looked like there was so much force in that shot, and it really affected Fajeda, obviously. That was the killing blow in that fight. But yeah, all the bangers were awesome. Big shout out to Ricky Simone getting a fantastic finish over seasoned veteran of Rafael Assunção. Good call outs there, wanting the rematch with Rob Font, and also not trying to bully Sean into a fight, Sugar Sean. So I thought that was a clever line. That's definitely going to get Sean riled up.
Right.
But yeah, dude, he looked good, man. He looked like a little I don't even know. He just looks like a strong. I'm trying to find the nice words to say. I want to say little, but it's like he's a big guy in his own right.
He's small,
But
but certainly packs a punch. Is definitely something.
yeah, just ask Rafael, man.
I don't want to ask, man, because even a guy like Rafael could whoop my ass. But it was awesome seeing Cub, like, just looking like Prime Cub Swanson, man. This guy is a freaking menace, and all I know is I would not want to take, the punch where he knocked down Darren, and then he ran towards him and hit him with a running uppercut.
Yeah, and then what about that like spinning heel kick he threw? That like
Yes,
I don't know if that connected or not, but it looked like it might have possibly
it did
connected,
something.
but yeah.
Yeah, and then the other guy, is Gamrot. I mean, let's talk about it. So he has 4 fights in the UFC. He lost his first one in split decision to Grim Kutaladze, and then the next 3 he's all won with submissions. Of course, he took on back in was the UFC on ABC 2. He took out Scott Holtzman with some ground and pound around 2. He took out Jeremy Stevens with that Kimura real quick, a minute into round 1, and now he makes Diego Ferreira tap 2 strikes in round 2. And this guy is on a freaking tear, and the featherweights the lightweights have certainly been put on notice in this one. So what can we see from Gamrot coming up here?
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter throwing the name Gregor Gillespie out there, and I know he's looking for a fight. He was calling out Tony Ferguson all last week. That would be a pretty fun fight to watch because they're both going to be ground specialists. Which usually when you have 2 ground specialists meeting up, that most likely means they cancel each other out and you're going to turn into a striking battle, which I would be totally okay with.
Right,
you know how we feel
these
about
guys
that.
can throw.
Yeah, so I think that would be a really solid direction for him to go towards. I remember I think he half seriously called out Makachev, but that's a little too soon. I think I'd
Obviously
like to
that's
see
not
him.
happening. Makhachev already has Dariush.
Exactly. So I'd rather see him fight a guy like Gregor or someone, right down there in the rankings near him.
I would love that fight with Gregor Gillespie. I would absolutely be all over that. Even if something like you want to do I mean, it would kind of be a step down, but Brad Riddell would be great. If they're not going to do anything with Rafael Fiziev.
That's another good one too.
Ooh, I would like to see Fiziev actually fight up though, is the thing. But in terms of just fights, come on.
Yeah, 2 top contenders, that are making their name in this division.
Right. I really like what I'm seeing from Gamrot. This guy is a beast, and he might be a little bit smaller than some of the other Polish fighters, but he certainly has that Polish power. And
Not the legendary Polish power, but
only
he's got
one
some Polish
man
power.
has a legendary Polish power. But Polish power, nonetheless, is still more powerful than pretty much anything in the world.
Damn near.
And then
Besides the Houston KO power of Derek the Black Beast Lewis.
the Houston KO power. But before we get to that, if you want to talk about a fight that doesn't really have any KO power, let's talk about Belal Muhammad versus Stephen Thompson. Of course, Stephen Thompson still might. We'd be hard pressed to find it given
Hey,
his
come on, bro. Those punches when they were sitting, like with
little rock'em sock'em robots. I love that. That was so
that
good.
was sick. That was great.
I need to see more of that. Just bang, man. I mean, it's not like they weren't going to get up, but
Let me bang, bro.
just let me bang, bro. This was an interesting fight because in UFC Talk 69, the nicest MMA show of all time, it was. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head with this, Blake. How it's could be a good fight, it could be a good spectacle or a good performance, but it's probably not going to be like exciting or a barn burner. And that's essentially what it was. Belal, I've been loving seeing it. Belal the Blanket Muhammad. Certainly, he landed like 8 takedowns on Stephen Thompson, and he smothered him. He landed a lot of shots still from the ground. It's not like he was just laying there and trying to make it look like he was doing enough not to get stood up. He was obviously working a lot, landed a lot of punches there. But he absolutely neutralized any striking capability that Stephen Thompson had in this one. It was a 30-26 on a couple scorecards. One judge gave it a 30-25. So, easily the biggest win of Belal's career so far. What do you think about this one?
I think it was as close to a shutout as you could get in MMA. I mean, not in terms of like dominating fashion. I mean, it was dominant, but not like damage dominant. It was just really a shutout. You know, he won every freaking round
He
basically.
almost 10-8'd on 2 of them in one judge's opinion, which is impressive on its own right.
Yeah, because it was only three. Was it 3 rounds or 5 rounds?
3 rounds.
I can't freaking
Come
remember
on,
already.
dude.
Yeah, it was
Come
co-main.
on,
I'm
man.
terrible.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I was half asleep by the time that one came on, my guy.
I don't
Had some
blame you.
Christmas
If you
shopping
weren't
to do
asleep,
that day.
and if you weren't asleep going into that fight, you probably fell asleep watching it. And
Yeah, I mean, in a 3 round fight at 30-25. Goodness gracious, yeah, that's a rough night at the office for Steven. Um, yeah, I mean, Belal, you can't really crap on him for this performance. He did what he had to do out there against a guy that's renowned and known for his striking. And like you said, he neutralized it. You can't, you got to give that guy some credit for doing that. Look what Wonder Boy was able to do to Luke, a guy that I'm almost positive finished Belal back in the day.
mm-hmm.
So
Well,
you got to
Belal's
give some
very
credit
few
to this guy. He knows how to put a really good game plan together, and that worked flawlessly against Wonder Boy. And we really haven't seen too many performances like that out of Wonder Boy, even against Tyron Woodley. Those awesome back and forth fights between those two. Trying to think of other wrestlers that he's faced, but I really can't think of anyone that's really been able to hold him down and just keep him down like that.
Burns in his last fight.
But was he really keeping him down like that? I feel like Belal
Not
was
as
just,
effectively.
yeah, like Belal was on that dude, like water on rock,
Right.
like
And
white on rice.
I'm not, and I understand like the hate that people have towards Belal. Like the perfect criticism. Yeah, he's not an exciting fighter to watch. I'm not going to disagree with that one. But just because he's not an exciting fighter to watch doesn't necessarily mean he's bad. Obviously, this fight was only not exciting because Belal perfectly executed his game plan and ruined any chance even Wonderboy Thompson had at effectively using striking. So I can't get mad at a fighter just going in, taking the least amount of damage, and getting a huge decisive victory. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't know what, like, people just remember, didn't like he used to be like one of the most popular guys on MMA Twitter, and now everyone just hates him, man. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like. He feels like,
Well, I think he's got a really good personality, so I think people are drawn to that. But then,
like
your
remember shows
performances
is
in the
funny.
octagon have to back it up,
Yeah.
Like, if you're not having entertaining fights in the octagon, people are going to flip. And that's just how it is in the UFC, it's easy.
MMA
If someone's not
itself,
doing...
man.
And to add to your point, too, man, I think him not being an exciting fighter, where he's at in the rankings and the fights that he's having now, it doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, you're going to get that title shot if you keep winning. The only guy that hasn't gotten it yet is probably Leon Edwards. I mean, but everyone else that plays that game, I look at Carla Esparza. She may not be the most exciting fighter, but she gets the results. And now look, she's got a title shot. If Belal keeps getting the results, I don't think he's fought Usman yet. He's going to be on the short list of it just takes one decent performance, sometimes spectacular, after this point, and he's going to get that title shot. So for people to crap on him for exciting performances, it's like, okay, I still got 2 checks, and I'm still moving up in the rankings.
Right, and my checks are only getting bigger as the fights go on too. And how many wins away do you think he's from title shot? Who does he fight next? Who should he fight next?
I think that's a tough one. I think there's a couple of different options he could go.
The thing
I
is,
think
at
he
most 2 wins away.
Yeah,
One impressive.
The
2
real wild card there is, I think, Vicente Luque. What are they going to do with Luque? What are they going to do with Leon Edwards? Because I think those are actually 2 decent options for Belal. Two fights he could run back and prove that he's made the right corrections, the right. He's developed his game in the right areas to be able to combat those guys and earn a title shot. So it's tough to say right now, but I would like to see him fight either of those guys, get that win back. And I think if he beats those guys, especially in impressive fashion, he could probably get the title shot next. I mean, let's get some new blood up there, right? He's fought it damn near everyone else twice.
Exactly. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And with Belal, I probably prefer a rematch with Leon. If the UFC doesn't give Leon the next title shot, I think you should do the rematch. There wasn't anything concrete about that. We don't know how the fight's gone. Leon Edwards might have taken a step down because he got rocked and arguably should have got knocked out against Nate Diaz. Belal Muhammad now he looks way better than he was against Leon. So there's a lot of questions there, and ultimately, I do think Leon should get the next title shot against Kamaru Usman at this point in time. And he's arguably the most deserving at this point. But also, I mean, if they were going to book that fight, they probably would have done it already.
Yeah.
That's a UFC booking right there where they're not going to give Leon that shot. At least it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, it doesn't right now.
Right, but man, I would like that, or even Sean Brady. Should be able to make a case for that.
With Belal?
Yeah.
But he just lost.
Sean Brady?
Oh no, he just. I
Yeah.
feel like he lost, but
that
I guess
fight.
he beat Chiesa.
He got his ass whipped on the feet.
I just feel like that's a step back for Belal.
And you want to throw Hamza into the mix?
Dude, Belal versus Hamzat? That'd be messed up.
He called for Hamza.
Did he really?
He
Belal
put out the
did?
fake poster and everything on his Twitter.
Oh man, I didn't even see that. Dude, that'd be sick. I'd be a fan of that.
I wouldn't complain. Absolutely not. I just need them to do something at the welterweight division is what I'm feeling at this point, though.
Dude, yeah, and if Belal could take out Hamzat and take down that hype train, whew, that'd be big. That'd be big.
If anyone's wrestling can kind of go toe to toe with Hamzat, it's probably either it's either Usman or it's Belal.
Maybe Colby too. I'd like to see that fight too.
But give me Colby versus Jorge, of course. Definitely don't give me Donald Cerrone versus Paddy Pimblett, which is the rumor going on right now.
I know. Why do they keep giving Cerrone these young, upcoming studs?
I thought they liked Cerrone. Why is
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just what gets Cerrone up,
And it would be a lightweight. He would make the cut. I guess, go on tangent before we get to the main event between Chris Daukaus and Derek Lewis. I think this would be, the rumors going on right now, it's Donald Cerrone versus Paddy Pimblett at UFC London, coming up like in March, is what they're trying to do. But it's a dumb fight because if Paddy wins, he gets another legend, but who's all on an obvious decline. It doesn't really boost his name as much.
Well, Cerrone's not even ranked in lightweight anymore,
No.
is he? Yeah.
But but if on somehow if Paddy loses that fight, his stock goes
everything.
way down.
Yeah.
But if he fights maybe a fringe top 15 guy and wins, obviously his stock goes way up. And if he loses, that's way more of a justifiable loss than losing Donald Cerrone.
Yeah.
Right? You can pull the whole
It's a
we
weird
pushed
one.
him too quick thing.
It's a weird one. It's almost like they're, how they try to build people off of other people's names. But I don't know. I trust the UFC that will make a decent decision. I still think a fight between those two would be pretty damn good as long as the, angry cowboy shows up. Motivated cowboy.
It would be an entertaining fight.
It would be. Just depending if the right Cerrone shows up.
Shoot, man, who knows? You could easily book America versus England in London. That's the easy thing to sell right there.
Yeah, I don't know though.
Does
There's so many options out there now, man. There's so many countries out there.
It
with
came
many
so
talented
far out of
fighters.
left field, that fight.
Yeah, but that's kind of how fights are formed, man.
Fair enough, man. I would like to see Cowboy fight one more time at least. So you gotta make that. But tangent over. Let's get back to UFC Vegas 45 and let's get to the main event here because of course we had Chris Daukaus in his first main event in the UFC against the number 3 ranked heavyweight in the world, which is an impressive feat on its own right. All right. So I mean, 4 fights in the UFC, 4 knockouts. He's earned this spot. But then on the other hand, you have Derek Lewis, who's coming off of his loss in the interim title fight against Cyril Gane in his hometown in Houston, and the commentators hit the nail on the head here, where the pressure the pressure wasn't really on Lewis's fight. It was mostly on Chris Daukaus, and I don't think it was the pressure that got to him. It could just be Derek Lewis is still a really freaking good fighter. If you get caught on the feet, you're probably going down, and to his credit, Chris did. It took a couple flurries to put Chris down and to finish him. So we saw his chin get tested. His chin's fine. It's just that Derek Lewis is Derek
Unleashed.
freaking. It's Derek freaking Lewis. So what do you think about this one?
I mean, I thought that there was a very, very obvious size discrepancy between the two fighters, and I think the
265 against 235.
and the commentators were even talking about that for a lot of the fight too. I think they even suggested, man, what if Dawkins could get down to 205? He would be a monster in that
If
division.
he get down 205, that'd be scary.
Yeah, but we don't know how much he cuts to get to 235, so that would be I think that would be quite the transformation possibly for him.
Who knows?
Even though he is on the lighter side of heavyweights. But for the fight, though, I thought the fight was really fun while it lasted. Derek did a really good job.
3 minutes, 3.5 minutes of it.
Yeah, Derek did a really good job of just hunting him down, cutting off the cage, and backing him into backing him up against the cage, and then just unleashing. I mean, there was probably like 2 or 3 flurries, and then the last flurry, came through, connected, and went 9-9.
Dawkins was out, man. That was tough, but obviously this put Derek Lewis right back into the title conversation. But the funny thing is, he
doesn't want it.
he doesn't want 5 rounders.
He's like, give me a 3-round title fight, boy.
Hey, anything for Derek Lewis, I do it. I love it, but also, I mean, post fight, cool things that someone got his glove. Actually, our boy Lino over at Slip the Jab. Go ahead and check them out. Hopefully, we'll be getting some collabs done over the time until UFC Vegas 46 comes out next year. He was lucky enough to get a VIP spot at the Apex, and he got a glove from Derek Lewis. One thing I am a bit disappointed, though, is that, of course, Derek Lewis threw his cup into the crowd. Lino said he was only a couple of feet away from that. I have no shame in saying, Blake, I will have laid out for that cup. Absolutely, I would have.
Oh, we would have been throwing down for that cup, dog.
I'm going for that cup. I don't care. I want to... It sounds bad, but just imagine, like, that's such a unique kind of little...
Imagine that hanging right behind you right now on your...
No, not hanging.
Wall.
That would absolutely be in a sealed case, display case. Yep.
Okay.
I'm displaying that also. Might have to air out the cup first so it just doesn't get stuck in the glass.
Put it through the wash or something,
Maybe just a little Febreze it at least for a second. But I'm laying out for the cup like 10 times out of 10. Am I weird for that?
Nah. I think you're weird if you don't.
Come on, man. Lino, you're 2 feet away. Lay out for the cup, please. Okay. How often are you going to get a chance to grab a cup? Like, fighters give out gloves all the time. How often do fighters give out the cups?
That's it, bro. That was his one shot. Hey, but he put some sweet content out there. Like, big shout out to Slip the Jab, because I never really got to see the inside of the Apex like that before. He took us down
behind the scenes stuff there.
Yeah, like some catering tables where they hang out, in between fights or before fights, whatever.
Walkouts.
Yeah, the walkouts were looking sick. There's some really, really cool content he put up over the weekend. Definitely need to check that out.
Absolutely. Lucky man. I need to get my hands on some
Looked like a fun time, man. Looked like a fun time.
Right. Oh, not gonna lie, I am insanely jealous of him. But can't really blame me. But more of the story, lay off for the cup. But in this, Derek Lewis with another great post-fight interview in the press conference where he was, how often do you get the chance to punch a cop in the face for free or not get in trouble for it? So obviously, good stuff there. Derek Lewis is freaking hilarious. But what's next for Derek Lewis? Is he right back in there? Is he getting another high-profile shot? Maybe a fight away from let's put potential title shot, even though he doesn't really care. What do you think we should do next for him?
I think he could be the backup. I think that's what Dana might have been suggesting over the weekend. But other than that, I think a fight with Derek Lewis and Stipe would be pretty sweet.
There we go. You're right. Absolutely.
That would be sick.
Absolutely.
#1 contender fight right there.
Easy. The only problem is it looked, I don't know why, but it seems like Dana White hates Stipe Miocic for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's good. It's a different matchup from Ngannou because Ngannou had the power and the technique. Derek Lewis has less technique, all the power. If you're Chris Dawkins, you say that he has more. How do you think, hypothetically, how would this fight play out in your opinion?
I don't know. I want to say Stipe would be able to get the job done,
Mm-hmm.
but it just depends, I guess, how he looks when he comes back. How motivated is he? Does he want to get to the top again? Because he's already climbed that mountain now 2 times.
Yeah.
So
And
I want to
against
say
two
Stipe has more
legitimate
tools to get it
opponents.
done.
Like the people that Stipe's fought and won the title or defended his title against have been greats. Obviously, Stipe Miocic is the greatest heavyweight of all time. He beat Daniel Cormier twice, and regained the belt back from him in impressive fashion, even with by being blind. From I mean, I love DC, but that dude's eye poking was abhorrent, especially in their trilogy fight last August. But it's weird. At least the problem is Stipe Miocic wasn't able to take Francis Ngannou down. Of course, in that fight, as soon as Ngannou stuffed the takedown, I was like, oh, this might be over. Derek Lewis has decent takedown defense. I could see Stipe getting him down, but the problem with Derek Lewis is he doesn't believe in jiu-jitsu, so he just stands up. Like, I'm telling you, Blake, like, from what Volkanovski did against Brian Ortega, I still don't think that jiu-jitsu is a real thing. I think it's all a mental thing, right?
I don't know, man. You need to be putting some chokes, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
You put in an inverted triangle, you know?
But what did Volkanovski just do? He just pulled his head out, is what it looked like. Derek Lewis gets taken down. He just
Some
stands
people are
back.
built different, bro, but keep in mind there's only one black beast in this world.
Dude. Oh, I freaking love Derek Lewis. Also, another shout out to him because I think he might have the best walkout music in the UFC.
Oh yeah, he picks bangers all the time.
Well, every time he run, I think it's a Houston rapper too. At least I'm like 90% sure it is, but Tops Drop, fantastic. That alone, I mean, we have Blake's bangers. We need to get Blake's walkout bangers. Actually, we should probably do that, Blake. So go ahead and do your research for that. We'll have you give us your bangers for walkouts. You got the fights. Let's see if you got the music taste.
Got you.
I don't know,
Whoever
man.
comes out the Island Boys, they're number one. Excuse me.
I kind of want to end this. I hate that you said that. Hey, speaking of them, you see them get booed out of the building at the Jake Paul fight?
Not surprising.
That 15 minutes of fame is up, baby.
I don't know though. I feel like boos are still, like, as long as people are reacting to you, I think if you're in that space, influencer, entertainer, whatever, as long as people are still reacting to you, you're probably doing okay. They're probably like, even the haters watch videos. The haters sometimes turn out to be more supportive than the fans. So
That's a good
I
point.
think as long as it's not just crickets when people show their face, then they're doing all right.
Fair enough. And also, the man I kind of hate the most for the Island Boys is freaking Ariel Helwani for helping popular. I can never say this word, man. Popularize them within the MMA community. Like Ariel, we had the Ariel and the bad guy. No, Ariel is the bad guy.
Dude, Ariel is a crybaby, actually. You see what happened to him with Jake Shields?
Yes, Jake went in on him.
Yeah.
Not
Scrap Pack is out in full force, you know?
Not a good look if you are Ariel Helwani. What did he say? What, are you still crying from Dana White or something like that too?
I think it was mostly had to do with the masks and the fact that they were in Florida because Jake was there with Nate and all their other boys.
And Jake Shields is one of the
Very anti-mask.
Yeah, see him on a couple shows talk about that.
Yeah, and Ariel, I guess, was wearing a mask, and everyone else was like not wearing a mask, but he would take the mask off when he would talk to people, and so that really upset Jake, I guess. So he fired off.
It doesn't matter how you feel about that situation. What Jake said was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, he lit into him.
Oh, I love that. I love that kind of beef. That's the kind of stuff I like to see when I open up Twitter in the morning. Absolutely.
We're simple men, bro. We just want cuss words and hurt feelings. That's it.
It doesn't take a whole lot to entertain us, and also people going unconscious. But that's kind of besides the point.
Yeah, only on Saturdays though. At least if we're talking UFC.
And we could do was PFL did Thursdays, right? Which is such a
Just
weird.
UFC. Just UFC.
Eagle FC, Blake, it coming up, man. Streaming on YouTube apparently.
Hey, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, hey,
I'll
I'm
tune in.
absolutely going to tune in.
I'll
I
tune
just
in
want
for
to
sure.
see. We can still. Well, first the question was lost, but now it's found. Maybe we can finally figure out where Kevin Lee fits into all this, and he fits into the 165-pound weight division.
Against a random cousin of Habib,
Who cares? I just want to see a Kevin Lee knockout. That's all I want.
who's probably got a 50-0 record and wrestled bears since he was 3 years old.
But the only problem is that if you're in a relation to Habib, your 50-0 record, your opponents are combined like 0 or 1-99 or 1-100 or something like that.
Hey, you gotta start somewhere, man.
No, the only problem is they start somewhere and then they just stay somewhere.
You know, that's why they created Eagle FC, so they could all just party over there.
Are they all just going to pat each other's records at Eagle FC?
Yeah. Just get all the people that are on the downside at UFC, bring them over there, build the names up off of them,
What?
and then it'll look legitimate, right? Like, oh, I beat Kevin Lee. Okay, what kind of losing streak was he on before you beat him though?
Very good. It's on the bit of a lengthy one. Also, was he doing ADD pills or not? Because apparently that helps you somehow.
Yeah, I wonder if they like what their what the hell am I trying to say right now? Like what their commission is going to look like? What are
It's
they going to be
the
testing for? Same thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to have the KAC, the Khabib Athletic Commission, and everything just goes through Khabib himself.
He'll just check all the fighters himself. That'd be sweet.
Shoot, man, I don't know especially if they do that kind of events in like Abu Dhabi and places like that. I feel like Khabib it has enough influence where they just wouldn't question him and he'd be fine.
I'd be down for some pride type shit. Just let him juice up.
Give me a super fight. I want a juiced up Pride super fight again in my life.
It's kind of messed up to say. It's like human cockfighting almost, but dude, that'd be sick.
It was
Get
entertaining.
Overeem back on the juice.
Dude, give me Uberim again. Uberim
Get
against.
Vitor all juiced up again.
Well, so
Wanderlei Silva,
Oh my god.
dude.
Anderson Silva's doing his boxing career. Let's see if he wants to get on the TRT train too.
Yeah, he could go over there too. Be another good one.
Give
Just
me
throwing ideas out there, Habib.
Hey Blake, I know we're never going to see it, but just try to wrap your head around Francis Ngannou on roids.
God, that's so scary.
In a super heavyweight division, so he could be his 285-pound self on roids.
God, dude, I don't even know. I don't know how that would. Yeah, I'm intrigued for sure.
That's a super soldier.
Yeah, that's like the closest thing you could get to a real life Superman. Like he just couldn't fly. He's got everything else, he just couldn't fly.
He might be able to like, get his legs strong enough where he could just jump real high, and he'll be fine there.
Just go into orbit.
That, there's not enough money in the world you could pay me to go against that. Absolutely not. No,
That'd be something, man.
you would die.
He would have to be like a weapon of mass destruction at that point.
A roided up Francis Ngannou, 285 pounds. What would that uppercut against Alistair Overeem look like?
His head would have been decapitated.
I think his spine would have been ripped out of his body. I truly do.
100%.
Oh, be like
You
some
would have
Mortal
just seen
Kombat
his
stuff.
head and then the spine attached, like the vertebrae, and
Yeah.
then his body would have just still been there.
Well, speaking of which, like Mortal Kombat, there's like a chosen fighter from like each world to represent like that race or something like that. Royded Francis Ngannou absolutely would be Earth's fighter in Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And
That'd be
I
great.
feel pretty confident in him.
I'd let him represent.
Absolutely, this man would.
I feel very confident.
He'd win. Like Sub-Zero, nah, it's over. Yeah, he could do a little icing, but I mean, Ngannou he doesn't even, he just punches you and you're
You'd
dead.
probably knock out a grizzly bear in one hit.
Oh, that would be absolutely something else. But I know we got that. Why are our tangents better than the actual stuff we have planned to talk about?
Yes, off tops, man.
Built
It's that
different.
chemistry, bro.
I didn't do good in chemistry, but we sure do have some, Blake. I guess we gotta say that. And thank God to never go back to school again because I hated chemistry in high school. Just wasn't good. It's funny. We went to the same high school too, so we probably might have even
Shout
had the
out
same.
Miss Corbin. She was the stud.
Miss Corbin with biology, right?
No, she was chemistry. She was my chemistry teacher.
Shoot, dude. Honestly, I'll blame the CT. I can't remember that far back, but I do remember the name. Like Belal Muhammad, I do remember the name. But that's going wrap it for our UFC Vegas 45 coverage here. And we're going to take a look. We got a few more things coming up. Of course, a couple little headlines to talk about. Then we got What the Blank with Blake. And a little bit of Nay of the Week action. And, oh, this one was a tough one. This one was absolutely a tough one. And I feel like a lot of you guys might be able to guess on what it's going to be. But Blake, the first thing we're going to talk about here is a new fight in the bantamweight division coming up on March 12th. Is I believe what they're targeting this for our fight night. Marlon Moraes versus Yadong Song. They're going to throw down, and this is really a match made in heaven if you are a fan of anything stand-up in MMA.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. Should be fireworks from the very beginning. I'm going to be sitting on the edge of my seat for that one. That's for sure.
It's a good matchup too. It's a good matchup for Song. They're obviously trying to push him, but I almost feel bad for Marlon because you take a look at his recent resume. Of course, he lost that title fight against Henry Cejudo. Then he won a split decision against Jose Aldo, obviously, albeit a controversial one on that one. But his last 3 fights have been against Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font, and Merab Dvalishvili. And
the Machine.
Yes, let's just leave it the Machine. So you don't have to pronounce that bastard of a last name. But all 3 have been first or second round KO losses. And now he's going up against a guy that has been the best striking in the division. Is the UFC kind of messed up for making this fight?
That's just the bantamweight division, man. I mean, there's no escaping it. Once you get into that top 15, it's filled with sharks. So it's kind of just how it is.
Yeah, it's either
the cream rises to the top, as they say.
Absolutely. But dude, this is just it's a good position for a Song to be in too, because obviously there are two. If you're just in the vacuum, there are 2 very, very talented individuals that are pretty much on the same plane of skill. Arguably, maybe Moraes, you might give the edge to him because he has the. You'd say he is a little bit more veteran. He has a little more experience inside the cage, but Song Yadong is looking great. He looked great against Casey Kenny, against Marlon Vera. He had a close fight against Kyler Phillips, which he lost. Now, of course, this most recent fight against Julio Arce, he freaking whooped his ass. How are you feeling this one going? Early predictions for this fight, and maybe not a winner, but how do you feel this one playing out? Are they just going stand and bang?
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely going to be standing and banging for the majority of this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Song has proven he's pretty durable.
Yeah.
Marlon Moraes, he's kind of gotten knocked out a few times here in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, Moraes definitely has the experience advantage. He's been there. He's done that. Song, though, he could come in there and just unleash an inferno. So it's a tough one to call. I really think it's a coin flip. I mean, it doesn't really hurt. I definitely think Moraes is going to be kind of like Cody Garbrandt status when he was fighting Rafael Austin Sao.
I think he has more to lose.
100%. That's exactly where I was going with this. He's going to be like that rabid animal getting backed into a corner and has nothing left to lose. Like, if he loses this fight, there's a good chance he's cut. There's a really good chance he's going to Bellator, he's going to PFL, he's going to
champ at PFL, possibly.
Because, I mean, that's 4 fights in a row, am I not mistaken?
Yeah, especially
and potentially
if it'd be a knockout.
It could be 5 or 6 in a row if you think about it, because title shot, Jose Aldo, arguably a loss. 3 more after that, and then what happens with Song? That's 6. Damn near losses in a row. That's not a good look. So I might be giving the early edge to Moraes just because, like I said, he's gonna have his back in the corner against the corner, but Song could easily go in there and upset him and take his ranking and then just keep going on that fast track up to the top.
Absolutely, he can. I mean, Song Yadong right now he's ranked 14. Marlon Moraes is up there in number 9. Could this win would I would say it's safe to say that this should, or at least could, put Song into the top 10 of the division, maybe even higher, just depending on how he does it. And this is a great test for him. I really like this. This is a good challenge for Team Alpha Male, for Coach Joey Rodriguez, and for Song Yadong in this one. So I'm excited about this, man. March is shaping up to be a good month of fights.
What's interesting too, I wonder how much Cody Garbrandt's going to help out with that fight, if at all, because he has trained with both of those guys.
Definitely going to take some little secrets if you can find some, right?
Yeah, well, I feel like people in that situation they'll usually take a neutral approach, but we'll see.
You know, Cody better prove his loyalty to Team Alpha with this one.
I don't know, man.
Snake in the grass, and this time it's Cody.
That'd be full circle, basically.
Blake, imagine this: Cody Garbrandt turns on Song Yadong and go ahead and starts to train with TJ.
It'd be disgusting.
The MMA world would explode.
Yeah, I just hope Cody is doing all right.
I hope so too. I'd be wrong to say if I didn't want to see him fight again, because every fight, even though he's lost, he's been in nothing but exciting fights.
Can't knock him for being in a boring fight, that's for sure.
No.
Well, I don't think he's ever been in a boring fight in his life.
Cody Garbrandt loses fights, but they're sure as hell exciting ones he loses in.
He loses them well, in an exciting fashion.
Oh yeah, just can't call people Steve or whoever the hell it is going into fight week, I guess. And then second thing we want to talk about here is kind of following up on what we talked about last week, where Charlie Olives is making the great choice of trying to put Conor McGregor's name into the mix for the next title shot. Obviously, he won the title. He's now cemented himself as a legitimate lightweight champion of the world after submitting a lot of people who perceived Dustin Poirier to be the best lightweight in the world. He taps him in the third round, and now he's calling out for the money fight. And we talked about this last week, Blake. Obviously, we think that's a great decision. That's a great financial decision, professional decision. Obviously, he's doing the right thing there. But Justin Gaethje is now coming out and threatening to throw dollies if he doesn't get a title shot. And Conor McGregor passes him up for that one. And also at the same time, Dana White is leaving the door wide open for the trilogy between Conor and Nate. So, do you think we're going to get what's expected and just get Gaethje versus Oliveira and Conor versus Nate? Or is UFC going to throw a monkey wrench into the plans?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends how soon Oliveira is going to be ready to fight, which you would think would be very soon. He came out relatively unscathed against Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
that's the first round, which was a 10-8.
Yeah,
right.
But no, from what we could see, lasting injuries.
Oh yeah, no, he looks fine.
Me personally, I would like to see the Gaethje fight. I think Gaethje has earned that fight and deserves it. Conor, he's always going to bring the eyeballs, right? So, like we were saying last week, can't fault Oliveira for going for that angle. But yeah, I'd rather see Conor fight somebody else that, isn't the top right now. I want to see him get his confidence back a little bit if he can. Because, I mean, Nate still has a chance of going out there and sparking him again. He's done it once and damn near did it twice. So, I'd rather see Conor take a fight that's not a title challenge, first fight back after a really freaking gruesome injury. That doesn't really make sense to me, business wise. Anything
winnable, right? Because he's won one fight in 3 years.
Yeah, I think Oliveira I think he'd be a sizable favorite against McGregor.
I think Oliveira would mess Conor McGregor up. I don't think that. I mean, you could say maybe the only way Conor McGregor will be able to win that fight is a first round knockout, because we've seen how susceptible Charles Oliveira is to taking damage in the first round. We saw in that Balls for the title fights. It was a 10-8 against Michael Chandler. It was a 10-8 against Dustin Poirier. But if he makes it out of the first, or at least improves his game in the first, Conor McGregor doesn't stand a chance in that fight.
No,
imagine if it gets to the ground too.
It's done.
if it gets to the ground, it's beyond over.
Yeah.
You know, McGregor tapped a neck crank against Khabib. He's going to be tapping to possibly a lot worse things against Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, but that was round 4. I mean, he's exhausted, so
Yeah.
I don't really fault him for that.
Fair enough. I do kind of think it's funny how you're talking a lot of the trash, threatening people, throwing dollies, and then you tap. Still something that I think is funny. Or
I
at
mean,
least
you can look at it either way,
uncharacteristic.
you know? It's just the way it goes. You're either going to look like a psychomaniac and win, or you're going to look like a psychomaniac sore loser. So, but he gets people talking. He gets the eyes watching. So, I think everyone thanks him for that.
It's a good way to put it. And also, I mean,
Especially if he's on your pay-per-view and you get pay-per-view points.
dude, you got
You're like, thank you, Connor. That's nice of you.
those pay-per-view points are like nothing else on the Conor card. And the other thing kind of going to this is that Conor McGregor's coach was talking about how he's probably going to be ready for a early summer return. I want to see Charles Oliveira in there before summer. In fact, I would love them. They're going. I think it's in March. They're going to be returning to Rio. Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje on that card makes a whole lot of sense. A whole lot of sense. And hell, put Gilbert Burns and Hamza Chimaev on there too. I'm cool with that.
Sounds good to me.
Right? I'd be watching. And also, just for fun, let's put Colby Covington on there too.
No, he couldn't go back there. He'd die. Probably banned from Brazil.
Dana would have to hire so much security just to keep Colby Covington safe.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Oh, that would be. No, Cody. There's no way Colby ever returns to that country.
No.
Oh man. But last couple things, ladies and gentlemen, before we cap things off. Of course, we're gonna roll on into what the blank with Blake. Of course, as we give 3 statements for Blake, and it's up to him to fill in the blank. And we got a few ones going on here today. And the one that's going to start us off here, Blake, is that Nate Diaz will blank fight again. You know, coming off of Dana White's talks how he doesn't think Nick actually wants to fight, and he's doing it almost because he has to.
Oh, okay. I read that wrong. I thought you said Nate Diaz. I was like, what the hell? This is a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
The way that Dana's talking definitely makes me think that he will not fight again. But at its core, it's always going to be up to the fighter. He's still under contract. I don't know, man. It's really tough. I didn't like the way that it wasn't necessarily the way that Nick fought his last fight. It was more the build-up and the media and just how he was kind of letting his feelings get aired out there. And it just seemed like he mentally, wasn't really in it. I don't know if he's doing it for the money, whatever the case may be. I don't know. It just didn't seem like a real Nick Diaz fight.
He fell off.
Something. I mean, he lost his mental edge or something because, I mean, there used to be nothing you could say to those Diaz brothers, man. Like, they had so much mental fortitude, and they didn't care if anyone believed in them, man. Like, they were always the underdog. Like, that's the thing. It's coming up. The Diaz bros, and I mean, they still always are the underdog, but they were always the underdog coming up. Like, no one gave them any credit. Everyone thought they were these little ghetto Stockton boys, and they would just go out there and put on fantastic performances that are just super entertaining and super skillful and technical, and you just didn't really see that from Nick in his last fight. It didn't seem like he was, super hungry.
I don't want to call him a quitter, but obviously he did. He took the broken nose and was kind of just that's it. I'm not going to fault him for that either, by the way.
No. I mean, I think that's kind of smart. Some people probably should do that more often.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going to go with not fight again. It wouldn't surprise me if he just didn't fight again.
Gotcha. Might be in the best interest of both parties. Might see Dana White try to pull a bit of a Chuck Liddell and just do his best to not let Nick fight ever again. But also, we did see how that went with Chuck Liddell, and so let's not talk about that, huh? Statement number 2 is Jake Paul will fight blank next.
Well, if you look at the odds makers, it's looking like Anderson Silva. I still wouldn't mind seeing him fight Tommy Fury, though. I mean, I don't know if people are going to consider that a step backwards now
I don't know if
or
Jakey's ever
whatever.
going to be up for that one again, too.
Yeah, but I like that one, man. I like seeing the Furies all gang up on Jake.
That'd
But
be fun.
probably the most likely scenario, it's looking like Anderson Silva. I don't know where
Mhm.
else you would go besides that. He's not going to get an Usman or a Masvidal or anyone
Hell
like
no.
or a Diaz. They're all under
Hmm.
contract, and he couldn't afford them.
Well, he did. He said something about Canelo. I'd be down for that fight to see his ass get
No,
whooped. Like,
dude, there's no way that should be illegal. Like
right?
him fighting Canelo, like that would just be a massacre.
That wouldn't be fair. I do like the Anderson Silva one because the only thing about Jake Paul is that he hasn't fought a boxer yet. He hasn't boxed
Hmm.
a boxer. He's boxed an NBA player, a wrestler with no hands, and a wrestler with hands. That's all he's done up to this point. And Tommy Fury, I was actually looking forward to Tommy Fury because that would have been a legitimate test. I was actually might have put a little bit of respect on Jake Paul's name if he handled Tommy Fury. Didn't get that. Anderson Silva, he showed he can box, and obviously
Hmm.
he's not a wrestler. He did his profession is MMA. He'd hit people, and he hit people hard. So I think this is the one that makes most sense, and this would also actually be a fight at Jake Paul's weight class, which is another thing that we have yet to see.
Yep, that'd be a good one, man. Sign me up. Might
Um,
actually tune into that one, not just watch the highlights.
oh, man, I'm so mad that I actually watched the Woodley versus Paul 2 because that was one of the worst fights I've ever seen, boxing or MMA. It was just I it was just constant clinching. It
Yeah, we don't even
was
need to waste our time talking about it, honestly.
fair enough. Let's move
It was a
on.
good, it was a good knockout. I'll give him a
Yeah.
good knockout if it was real, but
It looked more real than the Ben Askren one, that's for sure.
yeah, they practiced that one a little bit,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know.
I mean, we saw Ben Askren smiling on his way back to the locker room because he just made a shit ton of money for
Yeah,
no effort at all because it didn't
like a
even look
minute
like he
of
trained
work,
for
if
that.
that.
Right. I respect Ben Askren for that one still. Um, but the last statement of the show, Blake, is it's about Christmas. Christmas will be later this week, of course. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. And so, Blake, all I want for Christmas is blank.
Mm,
Tough one. What do you want to see under that Christmas tree? What do you want to see in that stocking? What could Dana Claus bring to you?
man, there's a few things I want to see. One thing I probably get shit on for this. I want to see John Jones debut at heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, damn, what's another thing I really, really want? I freaking feel like we get everything, you know? There's not really too much stuff you have to ask for in the UFC. It all kind of works itself out. Um,
We haven't gotten Jorge versus Colby yet.
there we go. Okay. Yes. Give
Mm-hmm.
me that for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Tough Jorge versus Colby Covington. And then that would be the best Christmas present ever.
Perfect. That. And so you want that. Some good title fights out there. I mean, luckily enough, like recently, the UFC has been really good at giving the fans what they want.
Yeah. If you bitch about it enough, you know, I mean, I think it's easy work, right? Like you see enough people bitching about it, you're like, damn, okay. About 10,000 people are interested in this, and they're just being vocal about it. So imagine how many people are not vocalizing about it.
Exactly. It,
So
it's a good way to get what you want. You know.
yeah,
Moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, keep bitching on Twitter because eventually you might get seen. Oh no, maybe that's not good advice because there's a lot of people on Twitter that needs to shut the hell up.
yeah,
Was it like Phil the MMA dude? That one especially. When
yeah,
Colby Covington says greetings, nerds and virgins, he's referring to him specifically.
yeah. That guy's a fucking weirdo.
Oh, that's the worst part about MMA Twitter. Absolutely. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's cap things off here with none other than the Nene of the week.
Wait,
And-
Ross, you ready for this?
What?
Watch me.
Watching.
You see that?
Yeah.
See how fast that was?
Yeah.
Faster than Nate.
I'm just glad I didn't flinch at that one, right?
Didn't
Because
spill your little soda.
spill my entire drink because, of course, if you haven't figured out by now, ladies and gentlemen, name of the week goes to Carice Archer, fake tough guy, bare knuckle boxer guy. Wait, I think he's like 2-4 in in
Like 2-6
2
or
and
something.
6.
Yeah.
And then he went on Twitter, tried to get like a fight with Nate Diaz. Would try and get signed by the UFC. Hell no, we don't want to see that. But I've never seen someone flinch so hard. I think his cup was empty after that, and it looked full. He flinched so bad.
God. I've never seen someone get punked that.
And then
Like-
Dana White put that on his Instagram. Dana White put that on his personal Instagram.
Dana's a savage.
If you're Archer,
dude.
what do you do to respond to that? You're done.
Yeah, you're not getting signed if Dana White's clowning you on his Instagram. I'm sorry. It's over.
And he looks so pathetic trying to ask for this fight too.
Yeah, I mean, he could have at least like cut his hair or something before making all those videos.
That was almost like that one ginger kid that pushed Jorge Masvidal.
Yeah, not a good decision, man. Not a lot of good life decisions being made at that event.
Just do you guys yourselves a favor, okay? My advice to you is don't mess with Jorge Masvidal and don't mess with Nate Diaz. Those are two guys you want to stay away from.
My golden code is just don't mess with anybody unless it's on Rocket League. Then I'll bust your ass.
Oh yeah, Blake has plenty of stories. Like our boy Andrew who getting banned from Twitter. Blake does get banned from.
I get banned from Rocket League and Twitter and bunch of play. But usually it's just because I'm saying I'd beat Jake Paul's ass.
The world is too soft of a place for Blake. Absolutely. Can't hold you. Can't even contain you.
I've had to tighten it up lately,
Gonna get canceled, Blake. Unbelievable.
I'm trying my hardest to not.
Are you? I don't want to see you trying.
I'm pretty well behaved.
If this is your hardest, I don't want to see you not trying, personally.
You've seen me not try. We worked at the racket club.
The worst.
You saw me
best
not
job
try for
ever.
8 hours a day.
You saw
Well,
us.
I guess you were only there for 5, you lucky ass, but
Well, I was a
whatever.
part-timer. You worked there full-time,
Yeah.
okay?
hey, don't shit on me, dog.
I'll do whatever the hell I want.
It's a dark time in our lives.
That was not the best place to work, but look, at least that's actually where we met. So, a little
Let us
origin
hear it.
story.
It's our villain origin
Are we
story.
going to have to do like a little story time with Blake and Ross?
We do a story time every week. I feel like this is story time.
Is it like maybe real story time?
Like just have a podcast episode about our friendship.
Well, we can do like 10 minutes about it. No one wants to hear an entire show about that because that would suck. No one cares enough about us.
We did some pretty cool shit though.
We did some stupid shit too.
Just break shit. Were
You
you
know-
with me when we just went to the dumpster to just break that pumpkin in slow motion? That was sick.
Oh yeah, you know what? Whatever. We're gonna have to do it. We're going to like actually fill up a show in these coming
We
weeks.
got 4
Blake.
weeks to do something.
Well, we're going to do story time with Blake and Ross. Okay, a little origin story for you guys. All right. How's that sound? Obviously, that's not going to be the whole show because no one wants to hear that. Not even I do. But that'll be a portion of it. That'll be a strong portion. We do 10,
Connect to our
15
fans,
minutes. Of,
Connect to our how many? What do we have? Like 4 or 5 fans now? 6.
Hey, shout out to the 30 of you that consistently listen to UFC talk.
30. There we go.
I love
My
you.
guys / girls if there's girls.
About 2% according to YouTube and in
Respect.
Spotify.
That's an important 2%.
Dude, shout out to my 2%ers.
Can't forget, Don't forget the minorities.
We never forget the minorities.
That is one thing we do not do at 4th and Long.
You forget the minorities, you get canceled. We can't do that.
Absolutely not,
Oh, boy. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it for UFC Talk 70. Of course, a lot of stuff we covered. The last card of the year definitely delivered. We get a banger alert. We get Justin Gaethje calling out Conor McGregor. A fantastic what the blank with Blake, of course. And then, you know what? If this is going to be like, this is basically, one of the last this is at least one of the last Nenes of the week. This definitely is not a bad one to start off with. And once we get to our MMA award shows of the year, UFC award shows, all we'll have to do, we'll do top 4 Nene of the week and pick the Nene of the year. We'll absolutely do that. Blake, I'll just let you know, over at least for our Nene of the year when it comes to our NFL breakdowns, the Raiders are in strong contention for that.
Shut up.
It didn't help that they danced on logo and got blown out.
It didn't. Nothing they do helps. It seems like they freaking suck, dude. Don't rub it in my face.
Oh, I don't have a whole lot to rub.
I win in my life.
I don't have a whole lot to rub in because the Broncos suck too.
Yeah, we'll beat your ass this weekend too. You just wait.
At least the Raiders got a short week.
You gonna owe me money, boy, again. 2 years
and then I'm going to make all that back once I win the fantasy.
Ha! You gotta win in the playoffs first, boy. You're gonna get shut out first week.
Oh, if I do, I will cry because I got the best team right now.
You Nene of the week next week,
dude. I'll absolutely nominate myself for Nene of the week. At least honorable mention, absolutely. I'll admit to it. But once I beat you for the fantasy football title, you'll have to admit yourself to you will be the ultimate Nene of the week.
We're 1-1 so far this year, big boy.
Yeah, and it's about to be 2-1 Ross.
You gotta make it to the finals. I'll see you there if you make it.
It's a tough matchup the first week, so
it's probably if you beat that guy first week, you probably got it.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, go check out that interview with Coach Joey Rodriguez if you haven't yet. Hat pre-orders are live right now. It's actually I've been thrilled with the hat so far. I've been wearing it a bunch because I like hats. Hats are cool, especially when you don't want to do your hair in the morning. What do you do? Put on a hat. All right, it's super easy, super simple. Why? Let's not overthink things. It's a very nice trucker hat. The back breeze. It's very flexible. It's just a good looking hat as well, high quality. And so those pre-orders are going on right now. Of course, you can submit your Google Forms. Submit that over at thefourthandlong.com/apparel, or also find us everything at thefourthandlong.com. But Blake, your thoughts on the final fight night of the year in one word or phrase?
Shit, I don't know. Fuck. It's fucking good though. I like it.
We'll coin that. It's fucking good though.
Yeah.
Also, speaking, I had to put that as a tagline for our UC talk shows. UC talk. It's fucking good though.
It's fucking good though. I don't fucking know. Shit.
Oh, yep. That's absolutely how we're going to wrap things up. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in next week and all the weeks leading up to it because Blake,
we have nothing better to do with our lives.
Exactly. There's ultimate.
Or was I supposed to say it's fucking good shit?
Oh no, the original. It's fucking good though.
Yeah, it's fucking.
I
good.
love how in the last minute of this show, we've managed to be able to cuss more times than like the last 3 shows combined.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's for Christmas.
I don't know, boys. I think once this drops on Spotify, there's gonna be a little E next to this show.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the end. Of course, huge shout out to our Patreon supporters. You can become one for starting at just $1 a month at patreon.com/fourthlong. Shout out to Ray Rodriguez, and for all your card collecting needs, make sure to go on Instagram and follow at the Big Bat Box. Also with Ray, our resident or actual card expert in the industry, we do card stonks every other Friday. Go check that stuff out if you're interested in cards at all. And shout out to Ryan Watson and Neil Wiley. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the year for us is not over yet. It's close though. It's close. But thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a fantastic year of fights, and we cannot wait to come out with our award show. So stay tuned because we're going to be giving you all the MMA content you ever need up until Gaethje versus Kattar next year.